I'm talking to the tripod, by the way. If this starts now, I'll actually be fuming. It has started and everybody's wobbling about.
Hiding in the bedroom.
There's Alfie texting you stupid things. He does that and it very, very much annoys me. Pop that there, like that's a nice little view. There you go. You get to see a nice little station. That's going to fall over, as usual. There we go. Hopefully that doesn't fall over. I'll be back in a jiff. Right, I am back. Move that out of the way. There. Have you not been talking to the viewers, Kelly?
Huh?
Have you not been talking to the viewers, if there is any?
You've
been occupied texting.
I have done a few steam engine reviews on my channel before, but I haven't done any to do with rolling stock.
I'm only introducing a little bit of rolling stock here and there. I'm not doing a lot. But I've not done one since the four-wheel coaches, so.
Well, as you know, I've got two new ones. One cost me £31 from eBay. That's the Intercity liveried Mark 1 brake coach.
Which we think is a bit odd, considering you don't have a diesel to pull it.
City of Truro hold that sort of stock in the 1990s on the main line.
I know, but it's
I know it's
typically
mainly diesel stuff, but I haven't got any diesels to go with it, so sorry.
Buy one.
Mainly diesel stuff, but I haven't got any diesels to go with
That
it.
is
Sorry.
That is Kelly. That is Kelly speaking. There we go. That's better. There we go. Job's a good one.
I am not buying any stinky diesel.
They're better. They're faster, more reliable, cheaper to maintain, easier to drive.
Yeah, and
They smell nice.
the other carriage I've got, which was my last purchase from Hatton's, is the chocolate and cream Mark II buffet car. I've never had any Mark II stock in my collection before.
I think I will never have Mark 1 stuff. I am getting some Network South East coaches soon for the Class 47. I'm going to.
What about something like West Coast Railways?
These Mark 1s. They use them like Mark II sort of esque Northern. I want some Northern Bell coaches. The only problem with Northern Bell coaches is they're either incredibly difficult to find for sale.
Yeah.
And when they are for sale, for some unknown reason, even though they're quite basic coaches, They're about £4 million. So
Uh,
they're very expensive, is what I'm basically saying. So that's not going to happen for a while anyway. Because I want some auto coaches. As you well know, I am now officially obsessed with auto coaches. I've developed an obsession.
well,
They're quite cool. So
yeah, sure, okay.
I think we will need break that. There's just people here watching this like, what the hell is going on? Is there a train going to start running any minute now? Unfortunately not, because I can't find my brake van. Either because I'm blind or stupid, or probably both.
Wait a goddamn minute.
I need the little brown one. There it is. Right.
You found one then?
Yes, it's just so we can set up more trains in a bit. I'm just popping this on. I'm going to have the coal train. It's actually got actual coal in the wagons. I need to get more rolling stock because I have a pretty big lack of rolling stock.
So, when's the Ginty review gonna come along?
We're not going to have a Ginty review because I've already done a Ginty review
Well, yeah,
before. So it's not really much point. If it was a different livery, I probably
Then
would.
maybe, yeah, okay, I understand that. Have the two together.
Might do in a bit. Get time. But you've not seen this locomotive. This is a lovely little thing. And this is the first time it's actually ran with wagons. I've put a Hornby coupling on it because for some reason Batman ones are crap. So now I've got a Hornby coupling on because it's better. It just is. There'll be people who disagree with that, but it just
9060.
is a J39, I believe.
Yeah, that's the J39. The J36, which is one down, is a bit smaller.
I have a J36 on pre-order.
Is it Maud or another one?
Nope, it's a LNER apple green one.
Oh, it's not black then.
No, it's...
Oh.
Do you think I would get a black locomotive, Kelly? I'm not that boring.
Excuse me, I didn't say you were boring.
I get exotic coloured locomotives. I get uniquely styled.
Well, hey, there's two
liveries.
guards vans there.
They're Great Western. I'm not running Great Western with LNER. I will have the Great Western fans get on their high horse and absolutely kill me. And I'm not having a premature death because I run towed brake vans with.
I'm sure you will.
I'm sure I will.
I'm sure you will.
Have you met GWR fanboys? I've now just offended all of them, and I do apologise, but unfortunately you are a bit of a pain in the bum sometimes. Because you don't admit that all your locos were copy and pasted out of sheer laziness. True. If you're a GWR fan, you will admit that a lot of their locos are repetitively styled. They do all look quite similar. To the point where I cannot actually tell the difference between a Grange, a county, a hall, a castle.
Manor?
I can tell a manor. I can tell a king, because obviously you just look at the front bogey. What else is there? There's another county with 4-wheel drive, not 6. It's all just a bit confusing. Anyway, what's the chat like? Just Alfie being an idiot in chat again. Should have put that one on that one there. That one.
Does that matter?
No, it doesn't matter now. Doesn't sort of really do that. I might see if we can get 2 lines working today. Don't often have this, do you?
Oh,
We're gonna
yeah,
have
the
to go the same
J50.
way.
I'm not keen on that one.
J50, J39 and J36 will be coming very soon. I can't wait for J36 because it's in LNER apple green with British Railways transitional lettering.
A bit like Tornado.
Yes, it's lined as well and it looks beautiful. So I can't wait for that one to come.
When's it due?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know, but hopefully not too long off.
Well, I've only got to wait till Easter, as I say, for Foxy. Well, around that mark.
Whatever wagons I have left, I will put behind the gate.
All those logs keep falling out. Why don't you glue them in or something?
Because I'm not gluing logs into my wagon. Sometimes I might want that wagon to not have logs in them.
Okay, well,
Molly.
be careful of that gunpowder van, it might blow up on you.
No, it's good. Good to me, the gunpowder van. I don't slate it in a video like Sam does. The only reason it blows up is because it's karma. Karma. It's slating it.
And you've got a car in there as well, I think.
It's on a flatbed wagon.
Oh, well, it's come off.
It's too big. I know. It's too big actually.
Too big?
Yeah, it's the wrong scale.
Oh, yeah, it's out of gauge. Call it.
So, I have. Are you getting the Oxford MX-5?
No.
Oxford are making a 00 gauge Mark 1 MX-5. It is now available for pre-order on Rails of Sheffield's website. Well, I don't think it's on Rails of Sheffield actually. I think I've ordered it from Kernow actually. It's on Kernow's website.
Oh. I thought that one was pronounced Kernow.
Which one?
Kernow? Kernow? How do you pronounce it?
Kernow. All of it is on it. It's not. What I'll then do is I will pop all of these together and make a big wagon train later. Big one. Comes mustard, and I'll put Barnard Castle there.
Watch the J39, mister. You don't want to...
I won't kill the J39, don't worry.
I hope not.
First Lord, that's clearly Welsh. We just threw some Scrabble letters on the floor in anger. For Welsh, you do that.
Shouldn't you have both blue ones together?
No.
No?
Nope.
Oh, you prefer to have them separate?
Yes.
Well, I suppose it does mix it up a bit.
What I'm going to have to do is put the main line one, well, put all the wagons together.
Oh, I see. You prefer to put it...
And then, because, unfortunately, I'm going to have to offend all Great Western fans. Because I don't have another brake van. Oh dear. That's not gone well, has it? There we go.
Well,
have you noticed the J50's got a longer train?
Well, the J50's a strong tank engine, isn't she? What's the for?
This hasn't gone well.
Why don't you just run one train at a time?
I'll have to, because I don't think the track's working for some unknown reason. It's not that controller, because that's the one that loco's running on. Look. It's not that one.
Weird.
I don't think the J50's dead.
No,
Worked
I don't
when
think she
worked. The track worked when I tested it the other day. The J50's fine. To be honest, I can't be bothered messing with it today, so it can wait and it can stay like that, and we'll just run one local at a time.
I would do that. Just to be on the safe side.
Let's stop the J39 then, so that's a nice little run with that. This will be in another video that I'm potentially doing. I'm not sure if I am yet, but it will be Britain's extinct railway locomotives, steam locomotives, which is a video with any locomotive I have in the collection that is part of the extinct gang. So basically, locos that have got no classmates preserved.
Yeah.
It will include locos that have had new builds, because new builds are technically a way of them cheating, if you know what I mean. It's like sort of they're new versions of locos
Sure.
that should be preserved, and they haven't actually been preserved, and they aren't actually the originals technically. So I'm going to include new builds, even though that's probably slightly controversial. People are like, oh, I don't know, can't build it. Anyway.
Well,
so they're going to be included. Because why not? I'm guessing. Actually,
oh, you've got a petrol tank.
I'm going to just do open wagons actually. There's an open wagon train, quite cool. But I'm going to put my other two in because I forgot the which is red.
Red is my first favourite colour.
Which is mine as well, but I like other colours as well. I like greens.
Well, of course, it's good to have a mix of colours. Like, red is my first favourite, blue is my second favourite, and green is my third.
I have to put Scarwood there, like that. There you go. Pop you back over there. We put the little Hornby Roger wagon after the Hornby as well. Like that.
Well,
Pop that away, don't need that. And we pop Parkinson wagon there. Berthelwood there.
Are you after another one of these?
I do need another brake van. To be honest, Kelly, the one that you showed me and Alfie in that video call, I'm very jealous of that. I really like that.
Oh, you mean the red and white one with the blue stripe?
Yeah, that's really nice. I've actually got locomotives that will match that. They're known as diesels. They would work a lot with my railway and my rolling stock. So.
Well, I have a proposition to put by you then. You give me one of the GWR vans, and next time I come...
Which GWR vans?
Not the one with the blue roof, you can keep that one, the light grey one.
That's my favourite.
Oh.
My favourite van.
Well, okay, you could give me the one with the blue roof, and I'll give you the one you're jealous of.
I just need another brake van. It's just one of them, innit? With my open wagon train.
Would you like me to do that?
I don't really run that many Great Western locos with freight because I only have one freight loco from Great Western.
But tank engines pull freight as well on the Great Western side.
I don't have any Great Western. Well, I've got one Great Western tank engine, which is a 94XX.
Prairies pull freight too.
I don't have a Prairie anymore.
Oh, no, you got rid of...
Yeah, and Alfie's put a new chassis on it, and it's now having a wonderful life. So I'm happy that it's having a wonderful life. But I will get another one, potentially soon. Get a Dapol one, I think.
I think Acura Scale have brought out
I forgot
the Prairie tank engine too.
It's a small one. I don't like the smalls as much as I like the big ones. This is a very unusual locomotive, I believe. I don't know if people like this, but I do. I think it's quite cool.
Well, I like that one, the G2A.
The G2A, or the Super D, as it's also known as, with a full open wagon train with four loaded wagons of actual coal.
One full of logs and the others are empty.
Yes, and the rest are empty and one's got logs in it. It's a bit of a mix of everything. But this is a lovely, powerful locomotive. There is only one other 080 locomotive in double O gauge.
Which is?
The Raven LNER Raven Q6.
Oh yes, that one.
Which I will get one of at some point. But they're quite difficult to find them cheap.
Well, you don't want them too cheap.
I want them cheap, but why every single locomotive slows down on that piece of track. That single one piece of track is now stopping here.
Maybe because you're running too slowly?
No, it's just because the tracks are swine. It's moved over 3 millimetres to where it used to be, and it's now all the locos are stopping. It depends where you stand in the conservatory as well. If I stand here, it won't stop. Did it stop then?
No.
Slow down.
No.
It
Well-
stopped there.
Only like stalling.
So 080 wheel configuration, it should not be stopping. It wouldn't stop if there's anything wrong with the loco. It's like... Right, it didn't stop there. So now it's just this curve.
I think it's only because the track isn't laying flat properly.
Why is all of my wagons coming off the track?
They're not all coming off.
2 have come off.
Oh, stop making it sound worse than it is.
It is worse than it is. It's worse than it is. Maybe not. So from this, we'll sit down and enjoy the loco. Oh, another one's off and I'm not fixing it. And the Super D's just stopped again. Commons mustard. So that one actually fell off the floor as well.
Well,
The birth fluid's off again.
well, that one at the back is off.
Yeah, and I fixed it before.
Maybe the couplings don't like each other or something.
I think it's just that they're crap quality Hornby wagons. Well, it probably doesn't help.
Maybe. No. Well, what sort of couplings do you like best? Those big
Thin
chunky
ones.
ones or the thinner ones?
Thin ones.
They couple together. They
They just work better because they can move and they're just better couplings. I prefer the little thin ones.
well, unfortunately, you can't change the couplings on Eddie.
Right. Another wagon has come off. So I'm going to explode.
Slow down and stop.
Is that green one at the back? What's wrong with it?
I've got an idea. Why don't you just turn it round?
I'll solve everything. I think it's the lock gully one, to be fair. It's because why can't they have one coupling design and stick with it?
Well, aren't you going the wrong way?
That's the most the Super D has ran in quite a while. So that one will do for a bit. I can put them on this track now because I know it isn't working, so it's nice and practical. Right, we're going to have another locomotive with a blind axle.
Which one?
Guess what it is? Well, there's only one other that I know of in model form that I have anyway. Ta-da! And what I'm going to do,
Oh, yeah.
we're going to run this one with the freight as well,
The heavy freight engine.
even though it was designed to pull passenger coaches.
Well, yeah.
This hasn't ran for so long. It's actually nice to have this out. What we're going to do today is we're going to run locos that haven't ran for a very long time,
That would be a good idea.
like Evening Star, which I don't think has actually ran on the channel for a very long time.
And those two will be running for the first time on your railway.
Yes, they will. They'll be running very soon. I'll probably
As
wait
will
till
the Ginty, whenever you decide to get
Yes.
it out of the box.
it won't be in today's live stream, I don't think, because there's a lot of locos we've got to cover. This one is naturally slightly faster because it's a 9F, and they have a tendency to run quite quickly. Hence why British Railways decided they would not be very good for the main line anymore. It's always lovely to have Evening Star running again.
She has 8 sisters preserved. Good time.
Yes, I think so. Well, it depends if you count certain ones, because I think a lot of them have been dismantled, or 1 or 2 have been dismantled.
Black Prince is still
Yeah,
going,
I think that's still running as well. It's doing quite well. pop it like that. It should give you a good view.
Also,
Probably put some coaches on, coach trains on in a bit. It's just nice to run. We've not ran freight for ages either, so it's just nice to start with freight and then we can get some freight work at that
go to
way.
the passenger trains.
Yeah. Oh, our wagon's off again. It's the Coleman mustard wagon again. Right, what we're going to do...
You launched another one off.
we're going to take the mainline ones out.
Watch out.
Don't worry, it's fine. This is
No, it ain't.
disaster. Get a little cut out at that speed, so I can catch up. Oh, for God's sake. Mainline, you are a useless model railway company.
I don't think Mainline actually exists anymore.
No, they don't. Rightfully so. They're ahead of their time with locos, but their rolling stock is dreadful.
Well,
I'm surprised it didn't cut out. Right, that's actually just added a lot of weight. to the
excuse
train.
me. I need to get out of here. Can I just...
Right, I've took the troublesome wagons off.
I hope you can sort everything out by the time I come back.
It's sorted now, Kelly. Sorted before you left the room. Hello, Melchester Model Railway. I am taking a request, by the way. If there's any specific locomotives you would like to see on today, then by all means request them. And I will try and run a consist and locomotive of your choice for you. I'm going to pop this slightly more in view of the station again, just because I thought it was quite a nice view to have. And you can see the trains come through there. We're not going to be running multiple tracks, I'm going to be running one line today because for some reason it isn't working and I can't really be bothered personally to fix it, so yes. But we've got Evening Star running at the minute, which is a standard class 9F, with some freight, which is unusual for Evening Star because it doesn't actually run with a lot of freight in real life, or didn't anyway. So what I think we'll do is put some passenger coaches on now anyway. So I'm going to take Evening Star off, pop that away. It's nice to run that actually, it's not run for a very long time, so. Put my coal wagons away. Right, all the wagons are away because I don't run there anymore because I can't bother with them. So, I don't know what locos to run. I've got 50 odd and I don't know which ones to run. I have to make do with this pulling a very, very light, small train, but well, she'll suit it alright anyway. Pop the G2A away because that's still on the way out, so it needs to move. That's a good way. And we're going to show off a coach that none of you will have seen before. It's only just entered the collection. My first one. I do not have a suitable locomotive to run with it yet, but it should be okay, hopefully. This should look relatively okay. And the loco is very, very powerful, so it shouldn't cause any issues. bit too fast, that, to be fair. It's stopped. Right. Disaster. Stopped again. Oh my god.
Watch me. How's it going?
Fine, apart from that's not working, so that loco's just decided to stop there and I can't bother fixing it, so I'll just let it burn out, because why not? They treat me crap, so I'll treat them crap. Jesus Christ, it's windy.
Do you think it could be because of the wind out there?
No, it's nothing to do with the wind. It's nothing to do with the weather. It's been playing up since we did the layout, so.
Just playing up.
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yeah, nothing else.
Look at that.
Like, it suddenly just started working. Like, how do you just start working out of nowhere like that? None of the track lines up properly as well, which is slightly annoying.
Watch out. Are you acting as a tunnel?
I must be.
Or are you sure the wheels aren't dirty?
There's only one thing for this. I think that the points are causing a problem as well, so it's going in the bin. Get that. And that. Can just stay there for now. What I'm going to do is I had a piece of track in there which I binned. Should be in there. That is there. What did I use? Right,
You've got
that's
some
a
spare
brand new-
ones.
That is a brand new piece of track, so that should not cause us any issues whatsoever.
Okay, replace the track.
Anyway, what you've got to do to make a railway work, where's the point on it's there?
Uh-huh.
Right, what you do is you remove it from there, like,
Pardon me, what?
well, the problem is it's, when the trap doesn't come out, there you go.
Hand that over to me.
Kelly Ashford takes that. I pop that back, I pop that in there like that. And then I attach new track there. This is Railway Repairs Live.
Railway repairs live, huh?
Yes. What happens when your railway doesn't work? This is what you do. And then you pop that in there somehow. Like that. And then just hope now that it actually works. And that the problem was the points, because if it's not, then we're a bit screwed. And this railway will never work. So, to be honest, I never use that siding anyway, so it's pretty useless it being there. I've now freed up an extra set of points to put a siding over there, which is lovely. So, I'll do that shortly. And then, what I now do...
What are you going to do with this?
Use it for the siding over there. We're going to start this.
Maybe you had one too many points.
It still stops. Like, why is it just that stretch of track?
I don't think she's going to stop now. Look how she's run. Nice, nice, nice.
It's just that weird, just that stretch of track, and it slows down.
Well, you've corrected the problem.
I've not corrected the problem because it's not running efficiently because it's slowing down where it should be slowing down. Ow.
We've got Melchester Model Railway.
Right, I think we're
Okay.
still the odd bit, but it's not as bad as it was. It stops again. That's it, I'm out. There you go. There is the auto coach running with a non-auto tank engine and a full brake. It's a nice little concept. I quite like it. It works quite well.
Well, I've run my auto tank engine with the maroon auto coach I've got and the chocolate and green one.
Yeah.
So what I did was I had the maroon coach behind and the GWR one in front, and it worked better.
Right. I'm going to put a siding, an extra siding off of there.
Oh right, I see. Yeah.
But I'll sort that out. In fact, I can do that now while the train's running efficiently. Squeeze in where you are.
Don't trip over anything.
I won't.
Are you sure?
Yep. And then that can go there. The problem is that's not going to be long enough, so I might just have one like that. That'll do. That'll be a nice little small wheel to put some coaches in.
Glad you like the house.
I like that house, it's cool. The big house as well. The man must be very rich who lives there.
Careful.
Where's that buffer stop gone? That I lobbed on the floor. Oh, is it behind? Is it behind you near the on the sideboard? It's on the sideboard. I can see it.
Well, come on. You're not going to want to lose this on the floor now, are you?
Well, I don't want to. Why does track not come off easily? Jesus Christ! Flipping heck. Disaster. We've had a mare with this track. We've had a mare with it. We've had a mare with it.
Watch out. Don't get too close.
Right, that's sort of fixed. So that's, Actually, in fact, I could have it as a double track from now. Thinking about
How are
it.
you going to do that?
Like that.
Oh, yeah.
Not that one, I need that one. Let's put it over there. I'm just doing some siding repairs while the 94XX gets a run around, so.
Excuse us, hello.
At least they're still watching the loco go around while we're doing this, which is
Oh, yeah.
the main thing, so.
You'll have to move those two low loaders as well.
Yep, they can just move to the side. They are there for when locos need to be removed and added to the lane, which is never. No, I never go that realistic with things. And now I've got a problem because the track doesn't fit, so there's a slight problem. Because there's a window in the way, and I can't exactly remove the window. So what I'm going to do is put it how it was. And I'm going to remove the low load just because I've got to put those over there, for obvious reasons. Pop that like that, a nice little siding.
I think that's a better idea.
Could you pass me the little white thing? Pop that there, a little house in the
Loading
middle.
gauge thing. Me check.
And I don't know where that's going to go. That's what I need. That's for coaches, I believe. Pop that there. We pop them there like that. Keep that house there. Pop the red thing at the back. And then we just keep our GWR coaches. Because I'm going to use those in a minute. And pop those pieces of track away. Not sorted. Not sorted.
It's good when you have some more space.
Right. Who wants to see a lovely Great Western Express train, even though I don't have a Great Western Express locomotive?
Well, Dinmore Manor will do, won't she?
I don't think it will hold 6. I don't think it will hold 6.
Well,
I don't mind putting that down there.
I shall have you know manners were used on the Cambrian Coast Express in VR days.
I know, but the Dapple one isn't exactly the most gutsy locomotive in the world. I don't really want to run that with.
I'm actually thinking of swapping 2 coaches around in my rolling stock collection. Like, I'm gonna give the Mark II buffet card to Rude Ashton Hall to go with the Shakespeare Express set. And then have that leftover Mark I to go with the Intercity freight coach. What do you think?
Pop that there. Pop that there. Now, for some reason, when Alfie provided me with these coaches, he had an odd amount of brake coaches. So they're all brake coaches. I don't understand how, but he had 500 brake coaches, so this makes it look a little bit weird.
Well, not all of them are they?
There's 2 non-brakes, 6 coaches and 2 non-brakes. So there's 4 brake coaches in this train. Which means it's got very, very good brakes, even though it's not going to be going very fast. So I'm not sure that's needed necessarily, but oh well. There you go. This is going to look cooler because I've not actually ever had. Oh, I've got a slight problem. Not very many of the coaches actually have coupling hooks. So
A brake coach doesn't always have to be at the back
I know it could be in the front.
or in the middle, somewhere.
Exactly. But I usually do a back and front, so I'm going to have to do 3 front, 1 back. Just 'cause that's how this works. So, yeah, I personally don't think that Dinmore Manor is going to be able to haul all of this, but we'll give it a go.
Oh, you'd be surprised at how many she can haul unaided. Believe me, you ain't seen nothing yet, mate.
I know from experience that this locomotive will haul this because it's quite heavy, because there's a lot of brake.
She'll be able to do it, you see.
What, and then the motor goes bang because it's not a very powerful one.
Oh, come on. She's more powerful than you think.
Also, this doesn't really work because it's a non-Great Western livery, fully Great Western coach.
I think it works perfectly. Now get her running and stop complaining.
I'm not risking that. It's got no power behind it at all. Yeah, that's not running with that. Right.
Okay, maybe that is one too many. Just have her
More
with
like-
4. She can manage that, can't she? Or
More like 3 too.
2?
Anyway, right. That's going down.
She
there.
does still work, I'm sure.
Yes, it does, but I'm not risking it. But there is a loco I will. And this is going to be a very odd consist, but I forgot I had this. This is a very big, very powerful Great Western Express locomotive in a non-Great Western livery.
Well, yes.
This is an express loco. Let's just hope it actually works. You ready? Moment of truth. No. Right.
Has the motor gone?
No, it just seizes over time. So there you go.
Oh,
Job
just
done,
give her a
lovely.
nudge and she goes.
It's got to unseize itself. But this is a powerful locomotive, so this should manage with these.
Go on, she's got them.
Look at that. I'm not even breaking a sweat. Slow
Well-
it down, Hogwarts. That's a bit fast. Whoa! It's just suddenly kicked in. There you go, nice and slow. You're gonna go to Hogwarts. You're gonna do spells. You get a wand. You get an owl. Deal with it. There we go. That's the first time I've had all 6 of these coaches together.
They make a nice rig. Even
do.
though you've got a few too many brake coaches.
eventually I'll increase how many middle ones I've got, and I'll have a lot of Great Western coaches. But then again, I have Great Western like I will get more Great Western Express locos, like a King and stuff.
Yeah.
Probably another castle. There'll be a hall, probably just a modified hall actually. And then as they add to the collection, and obviously I do have Dimwell Manor, who's not going to pull 6 because it's a bit over the top. But
How many can she manage? 4?
on this layout, I would probably run her with 3.
3.
But on a
okay.
flat layout, she could manage 6. It's just because there's a hill there. At the back,
Oh yeah, the incline. She
it's
doesn't
slightly
manage very
better,
well.
and it's the Dapol motors are not the most powerful motors in the world,
Oh.
so you can't really risk piling loads of coaches behind them.
So
But this is an old Wingfield, so it's got 400 million pounds worth of torque, so it's very powerful. This will never break a sweat. I mean, that's not even on half speed. It's just managing perfectly well. This loco never runs. I never ever run this loco, but it's nice to actually run it once in a while, isn't it? Because it is a
Yeah.
nice thing. It's the castle version of Hogwarts Castle.
Oh. Well,
Because it's supposed to be a hall, the locomotive.
Yeah.
But I actually quite like the fact it's a castle, because I prefer castles. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to get Alton Hall, and then I'm going to get a modified hall.
which
because
modified one?
I don't know. And then just any bit out of that one. And then I'm going to get. Oh no, no. So and then I'm going to get a Great Western Green Castle. So I'll have 2 castles, 2 malls. 2 of them are Hogwarts, which makes sense. They're going to double head together, pull a massive train together.
What about another manor to match?
Maybe a Kira scale. Actually, in fact, because I've got these coaches, I'll probably get a Kira scale Hinton Manor now.
Okay,
'Cause
yeah,
I've
sure.
got the coaches.
You said you might want to get a
Yeah.
skill.
And then I'm going to cap it at 2 manors, 1 Duke Dog, 1 City Class, which I've already got those 2, 2 Kings, or should I get 3 and then I can shout at Christmas, "We 3 Kings of Oriental."
Come on, don't go over the top yet, pal.
So get 2 Kings. I want a blue one and King George V.
With a bell on her.
Yeah, ding ding. And then I can't think of it. Oh, county will be added to the collection at the end of this year. I think it's county.
Is it the 440 or the 460?
460. It's the new train pack from Hornby that comes with 2 Great Western coaches.
Oh yeah.
So there'll be 2 more of those coaches added to the collection at the end of the year. So that's going to be joining. And then they probably won't get a Grange. I'm thinking probably get the Star class, the one that's in the Lodestar.
Lodestar, National
Yeah.
Railway Museum.
Yeah, and that would be it for my Great Western 460 collection then. So that's
Ah.
it. That's what it's capped at. Which will be quite a lot.
Yeah. I think Lodestar is still on sale in Chester Model Shop.
If they've got one and it's reasonably cheap, I might be able to maybe shove a few locos
Well,
out.
they do have. You can shop online with them, so look about.
Yeah, I was going to Partex all the locos that left, but Alfred wanted them, so he's got them now. Took quite
And
a
he's
few of the
going to get
locos out
one
of the
more
collection.
from me.
Yeah, he's actually reduced it. He's actually no longer collecting Great Western locomotives though. After yours, he's not going to have any more. He's gone LMS.
Yeah, but he's still going to keep the Great Western ones.
Yeah, the ones he's got. So he's got. I think my manors are going. I think he's getting rid of my manors actually. And the Foxcoat that used to be Foxcoat that is now no longer Foxcoat because it's been renamed. I don't know what's happening with those. I said to him I didn't want him to get rid of Hinton though really, but it is what it is. The 61XX he's keeping, the 47 he's keeping, class 47, and they're the 2 that I know of, and then I don't know what's happening with the little 040, but I'm not really that bothered anyway. In terms of my collection, all of them up to now are permanent. I'm not 100% sure what's going to happen in regards to some locos, but most of them should be permanent. A couple might go in place of others, I don't know yet. But I'm going to consider options. I really want to get a bullied booster quite soon. My first electric locomotive. I want to get a DMU. The problem is the DMU is very, very expensive.
The one I want.
Well, a DMU is okay. I'll accept that.
Class 117 in Network Southeast delivery.
What, like the Aquafresh toothpaste comes?
Yes. So, I'm gonna get one of those. So there's quite a few things that I need to get that are very expensive. I think the next loco I actually buy will either be the Bullion Booster, or it will be a British Railways Experimental Green with British Railways Transitional Livery lettering. Jubilee. The green one I showed you.
Oh yeah.
Which will be my first LMS loco that is green. Because not very many will be. The only other one I can think of is the Royal Scot.
Yeah.
Because when I get a Royal Scot, it'll be BR green. Proper green. But that'll be the only other one that I can think of.
I remember when Royal Scot visited the Llangollen Railway for one of their galas. This was a few years ago. She was still in Crimson Lake livery, if I remember right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but she looks just as good in green as does her sister, Scots Guardsman.
One of my faves. A bit. Which will be in a video very soon. I know you're not a big fan of this locomotive.
No, I'm not keen on it really. I don't detest the engine as such, if you know what I mean.
You just basically, you like it, but you wouldn't own it.
Well,
If that's the easier way of putting it.
I suppose you could put it like that. I'm never going to own one.
They are very, very good locos for the very, very little price that they cost, though. Actually, they're too small. They look stupid. Yeah. They match the Terrier best of those. Right, I'm going to do a double greens. Double green. There we go. I need to get some more green coaches, because the main thing I'm going to do this year is I'm going to try and build up my Southern Railway collection. So my Southern Railway locomotive numbers will increase tenfold.
What about the rolling stock coaches? Would you like more of them?
But
More Southern Railway coaches?
realistically, we'll need some more, yeah. Right, that is Hogwarts Castle. It's had a nice run.
Well,
today, so.
I could look on eBay for some if you like.
It's Mark 1s, as long as they're green and in good condition. That is all I really need.
Yeah, just leave it with me and I'll see what I can find, if you like.
Just any green BR Mark 1s. Because what I do is instead of getting... Because it's just easier with locos. Because I've got Southern locos in Malachite, I've got Southern locos in BR. Instead of having like specific Southern Monsell coloured like coaches or whatever, I just get BR Mark 1s because they fit with the BR locos and they fit with the Southern locos.
Okay.
Likewise, I've got BR Maroon, which fit with LMS.
You've got my two LMS coaches.
Yes, I have the 3 Midland ones as well, which are special, and they're for my special LMS locos, so therefore my very expensive LMS locomotives that I run. But you know, like I try and collect Mark 1s really because they're just easier and
they go with anything.
they go with anything. So for example, the Network Southeast coaches, the Mark 1s that I'm gonna get, so pass me the brakes, and then could you put the other 3 in the siding over there where they were? The last 3.
Careful.
Rolling off. So like the Aquafresh liveried Mark 1s, they're all going to go. They go with literally anything. So eventually, I'm going to get the 117. I can always have a 117 and then even just stick those 3 coaches at the end of that and have a 6-car DMU, couldn't I, really, if you think about it? I have quite a large, substantial train, so hopefully this does not cut out, but it hasn't got very long wheelbase.
I'm sure she will.
So, I mean, this, for example, this is one of my favourite locos in the collection, and I just love that. I have spent hours just watching this loco with these 2 coaches go around, like, absolutely adore the thing, just because it was so well priced for what it was, and I was expecting it to be a nightmare because I'd seen reviews of the Oxford Adams Radial, and it's a bit. The motors are terrible, and it doesn't have that moving rear axle, so it gets stuck all the time. And I thought, well, my track's quite undulated. This has never really caused me any issues. It's always ran beautifully. I only ever run it with coaches. It's never run with freight because it is a passenger locomotive, and it will never run with freight because I think it's too beautiful. But this is also the preserved Adams radial tank in the livery that the preserved one is currently in. And
The only one preserved?
only Adams radial, yeah. It's not ran since the 1990s either, but it is on the list of locos that are going to be getting overhauled. I think it's on the overhaul list, so it should hopefully be getting done at some point. But I just think it's a gorgeous thing.
Well, that's if the price of it all doesn't get too high.
Yeah, well, I think it'll need a new boiler from scratch, so it's going to be very pricey to get the Adams back, I think. But I'd love to see it back because I've always wanted to see it, and I've always wanted an Adams radial tank. I've always loved them. The tanks for me, for Southern I always wanted an Adams radial. For the LMA I always wanted an N2. Always wanted an N2. For GW I've always wanted a 14XX. That's my other one. And then for the LMS, I've always wanted a Webb coal tank. They're the big fours dream tanks. Adams radial, N2, 14XX, and the Webb coal tank.
I know Sam's got a Webb coal tank, I think.
I know, and he's
Yeah.
got it. I think he's got the preserved one in the LNWR preserved livery as well.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I would kill for that. I've had opportunities to get Webb coal tanks in the past and never took the opportunity up, and I regret it. However, maybe this year, if I find one, I will get one.
Good luck.
I do need a bit of luck though because they're quite difficult to find and get hold of, but we'll see. We'll see anyway. But I do like a Webb coal tank.
What do you like about it?
I just think they're quite cute and quirky. It's an 062 as well, so it's a weird.
Cute and quirky?
It's just like a small. They're just tiny, aren't they? They're very small locomotives. It's a weird configuration. It's pre-grouping. I love pre-grouping locos. As you know, this is one of the oldest locos in the collection. If you just count Lion, who's very old, but this is just a gorgeous thing, and all the pre-grouping locos are just stunning. So there'll always be somewhere for them in the collection. Yeah, it's just I'd love a Webb coal tank.
Okay.
Plus, they're a freight tank, and all the other ones that I like the N2, the Adams radial, and the 14XX, they're all passenger locomotives. So the LMS, for the LMS sort of dream tank, it's the only proper coal pulling coal tank. I have some coal wagons waiting for it. It's just not
Well,
here.
have I got you more into a certain standard 4-tank engine yet?
I'm not looking at getting standards for quite a while because what I do is, as you, I get the locos that I deem the harder ones to get hold of. I get those first. So anything that's really difficult to get hold of, I'll get, because the standard 4, they're quite common locos. They made a lot of them. You can pick them up quite cheap as well, like panniers, standard 4, standard 4 tenders, standard Ivet 2s, Ivet 4s, the flying pigs. Would
Ew.
quite like one of those. Just because I've got one. But anything like that, I can get relatively easily. So there's no need for me to get one straight away. I can get them whenever. But anything like an Adams radial or a Webb coal tank or a
Hard
Raven
to get.
P6, they're much harder to get hold of. Especially Hornby Adams radials. They're actually quite rare because they didn't make very many of them.
So like a limited edition sort of thing?
Not really. They just didn't do very many batches. It's like the Clan. The
Oh,
Clan,
yeah.
they've only ever done one run of it, and then they've done another run of it. So there's not really many of them. I do actually need to get one of those quite soon. Keep forgetting to do that.
Well,
I want to get the Clan. I do want a Clan. They're quite cool.
which clan engine do you want?
I don't know which Clan it is, but it's the one with the green cylinders.
Oh, right, okay.
Green painted cylinders.
It's a pity none of them were preserved in real life.
I know, that's an extinct locomotive. They are doing a new build, but
as I say in my Extinct video, there will be a loco in that is having a new build version of it. So when I do my Extinct Loco video, potentially, it will be P2 Cock of the North will be in it, even though they're building a brand new P2, which I have in model form, which is Prince of Wales. They still didn't save any of the originals, so therefore it's an extinct locomotive, because they never actually saved any original ones. So, but there's not, I worked out, I don't think there's actually that many. I've got J39, J50, the P2,
Hush hush.
Hush Hush is one, yeah.
Ew.
That's 4 LNER locos. Have I got any Southerns that have never been preserved? No. There's no Thompson 01s, is there?
No.
Right, the Thompson
I
01.
don't think so.
What about Princess Coronations?
3 of them are preserved.
But it depends if it's a Princess Coronation, a Princess Royal, a Duchess, or a streamlined
Actually,
Duchess.
Princess Coronations and Duchesses are the same ones.
They're actually very slightly different and they're classified differently. So
Oh,
therefore
I
you've
thought
got
they were
to
the
be,
same.
If you're being pedantic, they are different.
Oh, alright.
They're the
okay.
same. It's like the Merchant Navy and it's like the West Country and the Battle of Britain. They're exactly the same,
Yeah.
but they're classified differently. So if you're being technical, depends if there's any of those. So that's
right.
a potential one. Which I'll
Well,
have to
Duchess
Google.
of Hamilton has had the
That's a,
bathtub casing put back on her.
that's a streamlined Duchess, and then you've got Duchess of Sutherland is a Duchess. Then you've got, I think, City of Birmingham
Yes.
is a Princess Coronation.
Yes.
So I think that's where it works. So the ones that are called City of ... they're
Yeah.
Princess Coronations, and then Duchess of ... are Duchesses, and streamlined Duchesses are the streamlined versions of a Duchess. And then the Princess Royals are the royal ones, e.g. Princess Anne, Princess Margaret, Princess Anne was the Turbo Mercer, by the way, Princess Margaret Rose, and Princess Elizabeth, and etc. etc.
Yeah.
etc.
The real Princess Anne was destroyed in a
Yes.
railway disaster.
46202, which was the Turbo Motor, but after it basically was too expensive to run, so they turned it back into a steam locomotive. It's very windy out there. There is an LMS one that I've just remembered. The Fowler 4P.
Oh yeah. I don't think there's any of them preserved.
None of those preserved. And then I've got all BR standards, I've got at least one member preserved. So the whole video will consist of pretty much all LNER locomotives except the Fowler 4P. So there you go. That's what the Extinct video consists of, which is probably why I'm not going to do it yet, because I need to get some more first.
Okay.
The Adams just goes round and round forever. It's just brilliant. It's a lovely little thing. It's just quiet and just you know it's going to be fine. It's like one you can just rely on it actually working nicely. While we can have a little bit of a chinwag and they can just enjoy that one going round, or they can enjoy us chatting in the background. So that's a nice easy day for us all.
When is Eddie gonna come in?
We're going to do the guest running session after. So that's the way he's going to
Okay.
show. So he's going to have his own video, because it's better he having his own video with the Terrier. In fact, because of the way the layout's working, it's going to have to run on its own, I think, in the guest running session, which is fine. But, yeah, oh well. It's just a track being a nightmare.
Oh, we're playing footsie with each other.
It's only because your feet are in the way.
I beg your pardon, my feet are not in the way.
So, yeah, it's just...
Oh, stop picking on me.
It's just going to be a lot of locos added to the collection over the course of the year, I think.
Well, I'm only adding one more, and I've already told you what that one is.
Yeah. You have to bring Dapple Foxcoat Manor. Have you got Dapple Hinterman as well? You have, haven't you?
Yes, I
You have
have.
to bring them both down to join Dinmore in a running session, and maybe by then I'll have the Akira scale ones. We can have an all-manner running session.
Yeah. One question.
Yes.
You still want to visit my railway, right?
Yes.
So when do you think you're going to be able to do it?
I don't know because I'm a very busy person, and obviously I will let you know. It will happen.
Are you sure?
Yes. In terms of locos that I will bring, probably the least nightmares. So probably the Adam's Radial will come.
Okay, sure.
I think you need a little bit of southern in your life, Kelly. Maybe what I do is bring one from each of the big four.
Okay.
Maybe.
Sure. Well, you've got two railways to choose from. There's the double track Cat Valley Steam Railway in my bedroom.
It'll probably be that one.
Or-
Or 1-2 locos at a time.
Okay, fair enough. I can run double headers.
Yeah. I don't have many locos with front couplings, so that's not going to work.
Don't worry. If they're running with one of mine, the one of mine can easily go at the back.
So I'm probably going to do the Adam's Radial for southern. Unless I bring the... Actually, what about the spam can? Who doesn't like a bit of spam?
Yeah.
I love the spam.
Why not bring one of the terriers instead?
Because you've seen the terriers have been on your railway before. Well, the Brighton
Well,
hasn't.
one.
Yeah,
Three
Leadenhall,
actually.
yeah. But you need something that's never going to be seen on your railway ever again. That's the interesting part. So maybe the crab.
Fair enough.
Maybe the crab.
Yeah, just don't let me touch it.
You like the crabs?
Yeah, I kind of like the crab because it's a mogul thing.
It's quite a cool. It's a cool logo. Actually, I might run that in a minute. I do.
But well, the only maroon stock I've now got for coaches is the pair of Suburbans I've got.
I've not seen them.
Well,
You have to show me those on call or something. Actually, there is a loco I do want, and I want to get one relatively soon.
which is
The Q1.
the 060 thing I
Yes.
made, Jake.
The cool one.
Yeah, that's starting in the NRM, I believe.
I was going to get C1, which is the one that's actually in the NRM, but then I couldn't be bothered finding it, so I'm going to get just any random one that's in the same livery that floats me boat.
If you can find one at the right price.
They're quite difficult to find, but when you do find them, they're not actually too dear, because we did make quite a few of them. So,
so it might be quite
hopefully-
easy.
Yeah, it should hopefully not be too bad in terms of finding one.
Hey, you haven't put this one away yet.
You can wait there. A nice LMS coach is out.
Well, my suburban coaches are a bit like these.
Probably are these. Very similar.
Yeah. Only the two suburban coaches I've got are the non-corridor type.
Ah.
That's
these
the
are-
difference.
These are corridor coaches.
Yeah, well, my BR Maroon ones are non-corridor.
Right. So
And
the
they have-
NRM resident
There's 5
for
of
you.
them on the Llangollen Railway.
This is an NRM resident.
Yeah,
You
and
didn't know already. Which I'm sure you do. It is at in that bit where you get a cup of tea
yeah.
on static display, which is actually shut at the minute because I'm doing it up. I don't know what's happening with the crowd, but I tell you what I do like. You know the red single wheel thing that they've got.
Yeah.
That's quite good. They've never made a ready to run example of that locomotive.
Oh, didn't
They've
they?
done single wheelers, but they've never done that one.
Ah, right.
That's
Yeah.
a Midland Railway one, and they've
Yeah.
never done it, and I'd love for that to be done.
What about Stirling's single number one?
That I have actually got on pre-order.
Oh, so that's one of your pre-order ones.
It's one of my pre-order locomotives, yes it is.
Well, when will that come?
I think it's going to be early 2025, so there is quite a way off yet. But
Oh,
it
right.
will come. and it will be added to the collection. So that is one that you can definitely look forward to seeing, Kelly, because I know you quite like that logo, don't you?
Yes, I do. I do.
It's Emily as well, isn't it? So
Yeah.
So
And the Bagman Emily is much more accurate.
well, obviously, yeah, they are, because obviously they make them they take the real locos and sort of water them down for the show, don't they, to make them less obviously easier to make CGI of. It's a pity there's not actually a crab in Thomas and Friends, because I like the crab. I think it would have made quite a cool character. But I mean, the closest it probably gets to is James, but James is not an LMS crab, unfortunately.
No, he's not. Well, as an example, say if that crab there was a Thomas the Tank Engine character,
Yes.
what would you name?
God knows. How am I supposed to know?
Clara?
No, it will be a male. I think a crab will be a male.
A crab's a male and female.
No, I think if it was a Thomas character, it would be a male.
Oh, a male. Let me think then. Creaky?
No.
No, not good.
What about Craig? Craig the crab?
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
What about, and the Adam's radial is quite a simple one.
Adam.
Adam. Nice and easy. I mean, I'm going to have a model of, like, the N2, for example, is going to be a lovely little loco to have with the Sterling single as well, because they're going to both be great Northern locos. I'm going to basically try and get as many of the National Collection as possible. As you know, I've got Midland Compound, I've got the Crab, I've got LMS 5000, the Black 5, I've got City Truro, Flying Scotsman, Mallard, what are the other ones that I've got? Evening Star, how did I forget that? And then I'm going to have the Sterling single when that joins, and then I'm going to have a Q1. It isn't the Q1, unfortunately, but it will be a Q1, so I will have an example
One of the scrap
one.
ones, maybe?
It'll be one of the scrap ones.
Weathered or pristine?
Pristine. I only get my locos pristine.
Me too.
I like a weather. What I would eventually like an 8F fully ground up, you know, with all the rust and like completely crazy weathered. Just one though, and just to have one, it'd be quite cool. But I don't have anything against weathering. I like weathering. I think it looks fantastic. It's just not my personal cup of tea for my locos.
Neither,
like to have
it's not me either.
But it's like if somebody gave me a weathered loco, I would keep it weathered. I'd have it 100% have it. It's just I personally don't really want them. It's just one of those things. But oh well. Well, I mean, this, for example, the crab. This is another loco that I became very fond with quite quickly. And I didn't think I would fall for the crab as much as I did, because I genuinely, this is one of the... I say it about most of my locos, but it is genuinely one of the top, probably 10 in the collection. I couldn't do top 5. In fact, somebody's asked me to do a top 5 video.
Have they?
Yes. So there will be a top 5 video.
There are a few videos on my channel, they're a little old now, that need updating.
Yeah.
So,
You need to do a full collection, and you need to do a top 6. There's not just top 6. You need to do one.
Those are not going to get updated till I get Dapple Foxcoat Manor.
Yeah, well that's fair. Obviously, you know I do a collection video once every year.
Yes, of course.
But I'm going to do a top 5 video that probably won't change anyway, because my top 5 won't really change.
No,
much.
it's not going to.
There is a diesel in my top 5, I will say. It is the Network Southeast Cough 7, I will say that is in the top 5, because it's just so beautiful for a diesel as well. The 28XX is up there. The West Country is obviously number 1.
Well, I'm at the other end of the scale. City of Truro's number 1 for me.
Do you know, to be honest, if I was to say it from memory, from the top of my head, I would probably go West Country, 28XX,
Yeah.
and then I'd probably go,
Stinky 47?
yeah, maybe. Then probably the Adams Radial, and then 5, I would probably say the Crab,
Crab.
to be honest. But I don't know. That could change. When I look at the locos, I might change a bit and see which... Because sometimes I forget what I've got and what comes to the top of my head.
You can always look at what you've got and see.
Well, I will do that video. But
one of the next running sessions will be an LMS one. Now that I've got the Turbo Motive, I think it makes sense. Now that I've got Turbo Motive, got Crab, I've got the Midland Compound, got Black 5, got Fowler 4P. So it's quite a big collection of LMS locos now, like I've got 7F, G2A, all of them now. Well, I've got quite a good substantial number. So
You've got that Ginty that I.
yeah, well, we've got the Ginties as well, so we'll see what happens in regards to the LMS running session, but we'll do think that will be quite a cool one to do. And then the one after, maybe, will be the top 4 most expensive, so the 4 locos that are the most expensive in the collection, which is the, in order from RRP, Turbo Motive, New Build P2, the Hush Hush, and then the one below is the 47. That's not what I paid for them. I paid less for them than their RRP.
I get you.
But even in the order, really, the only reason I got the P2 cheap was because I power texted about 8 locos for it, so that's fine. But anyway, they are the 200 club. They all cost more than £200, so they're very expensive. So they will be running in a running session together. And then the other one is the best bargains in the collection. So that will be 1 loco from each of the big 4. So 1 Southern, 1 LMS, 1 LNER, 1 Great Western Railway loco, and I choose, and they're all Steam. 1 British Railways loco, which is Steam, that's a bargain, and then 1 diesel bargain. So there'll be 6 locos, and they're the best bargains.
Oh, well,
And I
right,
can
okay.
actually tell you what they are if you would like to know, so people can look forward to this running session. So for Southern, it will be the Adams radial tank. For LNER, it will be the J50. No, it won't actually. I've changed my mind. It's going to be the Thompson 01.
Okay, I'll go with that one.
Because it was actually the same price as the J50 and it's a bigger
Uh-huh.
logo, so I think it's a very good bargain. Then for Great Western, it will be the 28XX because it was very cheap for the loco, considering the condition and size and the fact it's DCC fitted, so it's a very good locomotive. For LMS, it will be the... No. Which one is it for the LMS? I've forgotten.
Black 5?
I think it's the G2A.
Oh, the G2A.
Yeah, because that was quite cheap. And then for the BR, it's Even Star,
Of course.
because that was very cheap. And for the diesel, it is the Northern Belt Class 57, which is quite a you've got to admit, it's a pretty livery, and it's a West Coast Railways livery, so it's a rail tour one that they always had at the back of the steam loco. So it's quite a pretty one, really. It's not too bad. Even by your standards, you'll tolerate that one.
You think?
Just about. It's a rail tour diesel. The rail tour diesels are different because they're a rail tour diesel. They have to go at the end of a rail tour, and they're there for safety reasons, and they're actually very useful. So
Well, yeah, okay, I understand that. But the only engine who's never had any diesel at the back of her train is Rude Ashton Hall.
well, when I went on a rail tour in York, I went York to Scarborough and back, behind Galberta Leone.
You mean Galatea?
Yeah. So we went on Galberta Leone, and didn't have a diesel on the back of that. The diesel stayed in York,
Ah,
and the steam locomotive went there and back without one.
very good.
So the odd times they do. I've seen a couple without them, but it's unusual that they run them without. They're not really supposed to. So
Well, I remember watching a YouTube video. I think it was Duchess of Sutherland coming through a station, and they'd left the 47 behind. It was trying to catch up.
I posted one. I posted one, and it was that might be my video
I think it was one of yours.
because I think it was Bahamas
Yeah.
come through, and then straight after 10 minutes after the diesel went through to follow because I think it was settled to Carlisle. They need a diesel on the back or something like that.
Yeah.
So it was running without the diesel, I might have had a diesel on the back anyway, and they were just putting a spare one. I don't know what the situation was. Anyway, it was a bit weird because there was a diesel chasing after it, and I was like, "What the hell's going on here?" But anyway.
Like the 47 was like, "Hey, wait for me." You're supposed to have
I
me
like
on
a
the back.
47 though. I do like 47. I believe you're not too hating on class 37s. I believe you don't mind a 37. That's what I've heard anyway.
Well,
You don't hate 37.
how about this?
Well, they sound quite cool. You got to admit they sound quite cool.
You actually like it when I make that sound?
No, they sound quite cool. Those class 37s. They
Well,
sound like a tractor.
I do admit I have said that if I were to have a favourite stinky diesel, which I don't really have, it would be the 37.
A class 37.
I'm surprised you haven't got one.
I haven't got one, but don't worry about that. That will be changing.
I'm sorry I said it.
No, it will happen. But as I've said, like they've made a lot of class 37s. Whether it's because Accurascale make them and they're still relatively easy to get hold of.
Well,
Bachmann have made a bazillion of them, so they're quite easy to get hold of. So there's not really been much need for me to get them. Like obviously the dream was to get the 47 in Network Southeast livery. That was one of 512 ever made in the entire world. So it was very difficult to get hold of, and that's why I've got it. And it's a very rare, very special locomotive. And then the Northern Belcos 57 is really difficult to get hold of at a good price. So I've got that. And realistically, I'm only ever going to have another 47, which is going to be in two-tone green, and then probably not going to get another 57. So that's what the situation was with the diesels. And I've just chipped away at the ones I've wanted that are more difficult to get hold of, and then I'm going to start building the easier ones up.
well, if I ever did have something like a class 47, I would prefer it to be in BR Blue.
I used to have the BR Blue one,
Yeah, you did.
which is now
With Alfie.
it's now with Alfie, but it's having a very good life with Alfie. He's enjoying it, and it's
Well,
having a good time.
that's what the
there,
hobby is
so-
all about.
Well, at the end of the day, the loco's getting looked after there, and I would rather that than it stay here and not get used because it didn't get used much. So it's all one of those. So it's not too bad in that regard. So I'm just wondering what to run then.
Do you really think your charm and gentle persuasion is really going to work on me for a stinky diesel on my...
I don't think you'd get one, but I just think you should consider a class 37 maybe at some point in your life, because at the end of the day, you're only gonna get-
Actually, can I stop you there?
What?
I actually did have a class 47 on my... 37 rather, on the Cat Valley Steam Railway at one point, but it didn't stay with me for very long.
I think you should get another one. What if I get a 37 before I come? Would you allow one to run on your railway? If it's a class 37?
No.
Depending on what livery it is. What if it was a BR Blue with yellow ends with the big, nice British Railways little crest in the middle? You know, like what Sam's got?
Yeah.
What if it was one of those? Because they're quite pretty.
I'm sorry, you're not going to sway me. You can
Right.
try all you like, but you're not going to sway me.
There we go. This is just a loco you can run and just rely on, and it'll just work forever. So nice little easy one for us. I like these actually. Have you not considered one of these? Would you consider a Thompson L1?
Well,
Because I think they're quite attractive locos. I know it's a freight loco, by the way, for anybody who's like,
yeah,
freight loco.
well, I
just
haven't got
matches
as
the picture,
much goods rolling stock as you, but I have got a box full, if you know what I mean.
I mean, I don't run this. Look, I run it with coaches. It's a freight loco and I run it with coaches. I hardly ever run this locomotive with freight because I've got a 7F for that and it's more powerful. This just runs really nice and slow at heritage railway sort of speed because it's geared that way with some ticks. Why not? I mean, I've got Thompson coaches. I've got those. But
Well,
to be
hey,
honest,
come
I could
on.
get rid of those.
Don't forget, I gave you my 2 Thompson LNR coaches.
No, they're Gresley ones.
Gresley one.
They're
You know
same
what
as
I
those.
mean.
I've got a full rate. They're all down there. But I don't run them with this locomotive as a full rate because it's a bit
It's a bit too much, shall we say. With the P2s, I double head the P2s sometimes and run all 8, and it's almost a big circle of train.
Yeah, so I noticed.
It's a bit big, really.
There won't be any P2 on my railway, ugly duckling that it is.
What about the A4 star one? You're not happy with that? What's wrong with that? It just looks like an A4 with 8 wheels. What about an A4?
Well, I did have an A4. It was Union of South Africa in Garter Blue.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, she just stopped working for some reason. She was a tender-driven engine.
That's probably why then.
Yeah. And so I part-exchanged her for something else. I've got Tornado now, in any case, and I'm happy with her.
Yeah, the Tornado
Is the A1.
is not going to be joining my collection for a very long time, unless I can find somebody selling the Aberdonian train pack. If there's anybody watching who has the Aberdonian train pack, which is
Let
a
it
Tornado,
know.
with West Coast Railways coaches, let me know and I'll buy it straight off you. I will buy it off you. But until then, no. I'm actually considering the Bachmann one. Because they're so beautiful. They are really beautiful. The mechanisms are crap. But they're so beautiful. They're the Bachmann one with the super detail as well. It's not like the Hornby one, which is like a design clever one. It's so beautiful that it's just like, do I just get it? To be honest, I'm waiting for someone, e.g. Hornby, to say that they're going to redo it, a newly tool it, super detail. Because I just think it would make sense to do it.
Well, yeah, but prices are going up and things. You might not be able to afford one.
I would pay 200 for a new super detail A1 peppercorn.
What if it was more than that?
Well, it will be because it's Hornby, but you just go to the retailer, don't you?
Yeah.
So it's just one of those. It's like,
Well, I suppose we can only hope.
I mean, I'm not going. I've got Mayflower on pre-order, and that is very expensive.
Oh yeah, the B1.
B1.
I always used to get confused between the B1 and the K1.
It's more the B1 and the B17. I don't know the difference between them really.
Well,
Quite difficult to tell the difference between them. I'm not gonna lie.
you see, at first glance, some engines like that, they do look exactly the same, and you're like, how do you tell them apart?
Well, then again, it's like the N15 and the Lord Nelson. I thought they were identical, but Sam had them together in his video, and they're completely different. The N15's tiny compared to a Lord Nelson, so I'm like, actually, that's quite weird. I never ever would have known that if you wouldn't put them side by side. So
Well, the N15 is also known as the King Arthur class.
yeah, King Arthur.
And I think the King Arthurs are slightly smaller than them.
They're smaller than the Lord Nelson, so
Yeah.
I need to get another Lord Nelson. I need to get a King Arthur, an S15.
What, like preserved on the Bluebell Railway?
Just any S15. I'm not really bothered about them being preserved because my Bachmann Lord Nelson is staying. That's going to be my Malachite example. And then what I'm going to do is get a collection of olive liveried southern locomotives. So I'm going to have an M7. It will be olive. It's my favourite livery for them. T9. The only ones I like are the olive ones. Schools class without smoke deflectors because I'm going the weird way of doing it, and that is going to have southern olive livery. Lord Nelson without smoke deflectors in southern olive, and the H2 Atlantic
I'm not keen on those.
southern olive. I will then also have H2 Atlantic Beachy Head, a H1 in LBSC Umbo, which is like what the E2 is in. And I will then have a Great Northern Railway, C1 Atlantic.
Well, I always...
National Rail Museum.
I always actually call... I'm thinking of calling the E2's livery a Cadbury's Dairy Milk Chocolate.
It is quite chocolatey,
But don't eat it.
but
I know Sam's also got the bigger E4 tank engine.
They're quite nice actually.
I prefer the E2.
I want to get an E1. Is it the E1 that Rapido are making? In LBSC and Bridge Engine Green? I think it's the E1.
Yeah.
I
That's the
quite like that.
J72, isn't it? Or is it a different one?
No, the
Oh.
LBSC E1.
Oh.
I think. I'm sure it's an E1. Anyway, yeah, it's not the E1 that you know, not the GNR one, not the GER one. It's the I do want one of those as well. There's a lot of locos I like.
Well, I've also got a J83 without the motor in it. How do you
They're the
fancy
little
that?
ones. No, I don't want a J83. I'm not a big fan of those really.
Nah.
I quite like the little J52, but the the one that's been redone by I think Rapido.
Yeah.
That was quite a cool little thing. They're doing the preserved one as well, which is in the National Rail Museum. That's actually on the list of locos that the National Rail Museum want to put back on the network, back on the preserved lines and stuff.
Do you think they'll be able to do it?
I mean, they could, but it's just whether they will, isn't it? Their priorities are elsewhere at the minute. They've removed the workshop, which is one of my favourite places to go.
Well,
An art gallery. Of all the things in the world to put in where the workshop was, you put an art gallery in there. Which you have to pay extra for, and it's terrible.
Well, there's also a matter of a certain small prairie tank engine. It's not exactly a new build or anything. The thing is, that's at the back of Llangollen Engine Shed, and the boiler is at Tyseley, and they're having trouble trying to get it repaired so it can come back and the small prairie tank engine can run. Cash issues.
Usually the way it is with doing locos up now, because it's just the nature of the industry. It's all privately owned company, like they're all privately owned. They don't get any government funding, so you just have to go off donations. And there's only so much people can donate, so there's only a certain way that the industry can go, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a difficult one.
Well, the 5199, the larger prairie tank engine, she is now on the battlefield line. She's come away from the West Somerset Railway,
Yeah.
and it looks like she could return to Llangollen.
Yeah. Not too bad. I mean, there's a 72XX at East Lancs that I want to see finish. There's 3 in preservation and not one single one is
Running.
And the 72XX at home East Lancs has been given the go-ahead for overhaul now. So that'd be nice to see that done. They're currently doing a 2884 classes under full restoration because it's been scrapyard condition since Barry, I think. They're currently doing 46428. That's the East Lancs' next restoration project. The 2884 is privately owned. It's not actually owned by a different guy who has it on the East Lancs. The East Lancs themselves own 46428, which is their next loco that they're restoring. That's not going to be on the line for a while because it's just a long way off.
Well, Leander's been withdrawn for overhaul as well.
Yes, but Leander isn't actually being withdrawn from service yet because its heritage boiler ticket still has a couple of months left on it. So it will be at Legends of Steam at the East Lancashire Railway in March, and I'm going.
Oh, right.
So it will be there. After that weekend, it then gets withdrawn for an overhaul then.
Oh, right.
So it's in service on heritage lines until then.
Okay.
So that's a bit of good news. So you will see some videos with Leander.
And I've learned that Collapore is still waiting for an overhaul. One of its sisters.
Yeah, that's been sold. I'm sure Tyres they've just sold that to somebody.
Oh, right.
Or some appeal's been released for it. Something along those lines. I don't know. I've just heard something about it. I think something is happening with that. So that should be returning to Steam soon in the foreseeable future sometime, hopefully. Which is good. So yeah, that's a good piece of news. And then I can't really think of it. I don't know what else is happening. Oh, and then we've got all the new builds, which are still nowhere near done, as usual.
Are you tired, mister?
Yes, I was. I remember. We've got a long way for the new builds to go before they're ready. P2's a couple of years off. I can't wait for that one though, because that's going to be very powerful. Very, very big.
Well, it'll be a miracle if they're all in Steam up to 2030.
They'll be in Steam after that.
Will they?
Yeah. Nothing is ever going to happen to Steam. Nothing's ever going to happen to petrol and then diesel cars. There's going to be restrictions in place. It's never nothing. They can't just outright go right. That's happening. Let's get rid of them. They can't do that. And they've already said they're supporting the Steam preservation movement anyway because it's part of British history. So Britain, the only reason Britain is in the situation it's in, which is probably not brilliant at the minute, but I mean the only reason it became a relatively powerful country is because we had the railways and the steam locomotives to move people up and down the country and move businesses, move troops in the war. Like, they're very important, and nothing is ever going to happen to Steam, so I wouldn't worry about it. It's true, nothing's ever going to happen. It'll be fine. There'll be certain restrictions on weight, size, this, that, and the other on the main line, which is stuff we've got anyway. Like 9Fs aren't allowed, and which has been like that for a while. And you'll probably see a couple of heritage lines getting more locos that have come from the main line. Some of those will be retired because they're a bit old, and then the new builds will go onto the main line, and it'll just be a bit of a cycle like that, really. And then you'll see more locos withdrawn from service. You won't see them scrapped. You'll probably just see them more in museums. There'll be more exhibits in museums as you go forward.
Well, I'm hoping Foxcote Manor won't become a museum piece. I should be devastated if that happened.
The problem is, as things get old, especially steam locos, they become very, very expensive to maintain. And if it's not financially viable, then you may as well they then end up static. But they can cosmetically restore them. But it's just not worth it on some counts. So obviously, Foxcote Manor's not that old for a steam locomotive because
Well, no, she's not.
late 40s, early 50s.
She came out of Swindon Works in December 1953.
What, 1953 then? So it's very late for a steam loco, really. It was under BR. It wasn't even under flipping...
GWR.
I know, but it was actually built during the BR's tenure.
Yeah.
So, like, BR standard locos were starting to be built in 1950, like 51-ish.
Yeah.
Like standard 2s and stuff. So it's quite a late loco, really, for a Great Western loco design as well. So you've got the Great Western locos you've got for a very long time, I would say. They're probably going to last quite a while. You've got all the standards, they're going to last a while. The ones that are going to be a little bit more on the back burner, I think, are, for example, Flying Scotsman, because it's 100 years old. And to keep that running costs so much money, it's just not going to become viable. And eventually they'll just put it in a museum. It's easier. That'll happen eventually. You'll have all the A4s will start going. I know we've only got one left anyway that's running. There is talks of Bitten coming back on the line, on the main line.
Will that happen?
Hopefully, but it's probably not going to be for a while. But yeah, I don't know how it's going to work, but there's nothing's going to happen with Steam. It's just more of what locos are you going to have left in Steam, just due to finance as well. It's the biggest reason.
Well, considering the cost of coal is rising formidably as well.
It is, but it's not necessarily that's the problem. It's more the maintenance that's the horrible dent in budgets, really. Because maintenance of the biggest reason why the end of Steam happened, other than the fact that a big reason anyway was the fact that steam locomotives were very outdated, very old, very unreliable, and also they were very, very expensive to maintain. Very expensive to maintain. A diesel was super simple, super easy to fuel, dead cheap to run, and it just made more sense for the railway industry at the time, because of the situation the country was in after the war, to run diesels because it's so much easier economically. They went around steam the wrong way. They went around removing steam altogether, completely the wrong way. I don't agree with it. But
Neither do
introducing diesels was a good idea for the economic times that we was in. We couldn't afford it, but we shouldn't have just gone right and that's it. Get rid of steam altogether and just scrap them in space. And then before 1968, there isn't any left, and it's just like completely ban them altogether for 4 years as well, which is ridiculous. But that went round the wrong way. But the fact diesels came in was just because that's the best situation at the time. But it's not the preservation. What's happening in preservation isn't going to change at all. Same with classic cars. You're going to have those forever. You're going to have old railway locomotives forever. You're not going to have any issues with it. It's just more of what in 20 years' time are you going to see on the main line? Stuff like Flying Scotsman, probably not. Maybe some of the Jubilees, probably not, because they're going to be getting on a bit. Is it mainly just going to be new builds? Probably. So it's just one of those, isn't it? But these things do happen at the end of the day. So, yeah.
And the cost of living is becoming a crisis
But it has been for quite a while.
because of a threatening global warming changes scheme that's been brought about.
I wouldn't say it's anything to do with climate change. I would say it's mainly due to just the economic situations of all the countries at the current moment. I wouldn't say it's anything to do with climate change. And whatever you hear about it, take it with a pinch of salt anyway. Because a lot of what they're implementing is
Well,
not
they
actually
wanna
accurate.
get rid of carbon emissions.
Which is not physically possible.
They think they can do it.
Well, they can't. Like, it's all very complicated, and I'm not getting into it at the present moment in time because I can't be bothered.
I'm not suggesting you do.
But it's very complicated, and they cannot implement what they want to implement, and they know that, and they're just trying to force us to go their way, and it's not going to happen. Which is why there's nothing's going to happen to steam or classic cars or anything like that, because it's not physically possible to not have any form of carbon emissions at all. It's not physically possible.
Of course not.
You always have to mine for things. You always have to. But farming causes carbon emissions.
Yeah.
You
can't get
can't
rid
not
of that.
have farming. You can't make everybody vegan. Plus, producing vegan food is actually not very good for the environment.
It's not. But
Electric
there's a lot of
cars?
vegan food in Asda already.
Electric cars are not very good for the environment because of the mining that goes into making the batteries. It's just they don't understand the bigger picture, and that's the biggest problem with them. Is they're just single-minded, one vision, tunnel vision. That's it. Just producing the carbon emissions when you use it. So use it, but then that's not how it works. But unfortunately, the people who run this country or run any country are a little bit thick. So. But I wouldn't worry about anything. Whatever you hear on the news, take it with a pinch of salt, and take whatever government ministers say, take it with a pinch of salt. So yeah, that's basically what I'm saying. But don't worry about anything happening with steam or classic cars, because nothing will happen. There'll be restrictions put in place making life a little bit harder, that's true. But at the end of the day, we do need to cut down slightly, but their way of forcefully doing it is not on, and it won't happen anyway because it'll never happen. So yeah. You've got steam forever, so I wouldn't worry about it.
Well, I
And
hope
diesels.
you're right.
And diesels as well. It's not possible to get rid of them. It's not financially possible. It's not actually human rights wise. It's not acceptable because people cannot do things that they enjoy anymore, which is going out looking at steam locomotives. They can't do that. It's British history. They cannot just. It's not physically possible. Like, it's not possible. It's just a wild cloud cuckoo land dream of people who run this country. But they've already said anyway that it's not going to happen, so they said they're always keeping steam anyway. So they've already said it, so.
Well, 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 aside from all that brouhaha, I think we ought to change the subject.
Well, I think maybe the right time to finish the live stream
Would be?
and move on to the running session video with Eddie the E2.
Yes,
That's a bit of a break first,
of course.
and then go from there.
Sure.
So we've had the 01 running around for quite a while now.
Yes,
So
I think. Well, is it a he or a she to you?
his name's Thompson, so
Male?
it's a male to me. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Hello,
Cool.
little Thompson.
Mr.
Does he
Thompson.
like the name?
Does actually suit that name to be fair. Thompson 01. Cool logo actually. I don't like Edward Thompson's way about about Gresley designs. Like he was like, "Oh, I'm better, hoo ha!" Like scrap the P2s, all rain super. I rain super. Like, I'm not the biggest fan of that. However, the Thompson 01 and the L1, gorgeous locomotives. Very lovely things. I love an L1, and I love the Thompson 01. And I do eventually want to get an A2-2 Cock of the North and A2-3 Edward Thompson. For a laugh. And I've still got 2 P2s, so it's like...
I don't know why I never really thought to try out buying a 280 for my railway.
It depends what 280 you like, really. There's lots. So what would you have? These are really inexpensive and they're very good locos.
Yeah, but knowing me, I'd probably go for either like the Stania 8F, that's a 280,
I haven't got an 8F. I need to get one, don't I?
or the GWI heavy freight 280 that you have got.
There's a lot of Great Western 280s.
How?
You've got the 28XX.
Yeah.
You've got the 2884, aka the 38XX. That's the slightly modified version, the non-pre-grouping version of the
Yeah.
28XX. You have the 30XX, which was part of the ROD, which
Yeah.
is quite a cool locomotive. I would like to get one of those eventually. And finally, the one that I love, but there's not a very good version in model form yet, the 47XX Night Owl. The problem with that is only Helgen make the 47XX Night Owl,
Oof.
and Helgen steam locomotives are below poor. There's poor, and then there's Helgen. So that's a slight issue. Alfie had a 47XX, and it didn't last very long, and I think it blew up, disintegrated. So he got rid of it.
Well, we
but-
won't go into that too much.
Yes, so what I'm basically waiting for is if there's anybody watching, I doubt it, but if there's anybody watching from Bachmann or Rapido or Curva Scale or Dapol, please make a 47XX. Thank you.
Well,
Because I've always stood by this until the day my coffin lid goes on. I'll never buy a Helgen loco. Well, the only Helgen locos I will ever consider are Bayer Garrett's, because they're so big they can't mess them up, and I think the Class 28 Boco thing.
oh yeah, that diesel, that Boco, the Thomas diesel was
Do you
based
approve of that diesel because it's a Thomas character?
on. Yes and no.
Yes, there you go. You heard it from us. Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you next time for another live stream. Goodbye.